And our weekly
Let's get it.
am I the asshole? Did you read it?
I
Oh
read
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Somebody kick that shit off, man.
uh, brother,
Here,
brother
let me
I,
Format,
find it. Let me
I
find the story here.
you gonna read the whole story?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, we that interracial dating. It's one of those, man. You should know off rip even before you get married.
you keep hearing the horror stories with this shit.
Yeah, the fucking the what you call it, the microaggressions and all kind of subtle shit. You hear that?
Yeah.
You should know. I'm sure you'd have been to many dinners and mama done said some slick shit at the
Yeah.
table. Now you want to marry into that? Yeah. I hope old boy make a six figs. I hope it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause now you tied in.
All right. So here it is. The internet has backed a woman who's branded her mother-in-law a racist bitch over sly comments about her children and black people. The black woman, 32, explained that her 34-year-old white husband's mother had repeatedly made racist comments, including about an Asian cashier's eyes and her own grandchildren. After revealing she was pregnant, the woman said her mother-in-law, who she calls Lisa, said she hoped the child would have blue eyes, and claimed she was upset when her daughter was born with brown eyes. Uh, the woman said her mother-in-law also made an offensive comment when her grandson was born. Lisa did not even try to hide her disappointment. My son was born with hazel eyes, and his hair is also tighter than his sister's.
That's snappy.
Yeah.
Tighter.
She made a sly comment saying, "You can't have everything," insinuating that my daughter was blessed to have lighter skin and looser hair than my son was blessed to have pretty eyes. So when the poster brought it up with her husband of 6 years, she claimed that he brushed it over and said his mother was a product of her time. But the tension between the family members spilled over at a party when the couple hosted to celebrate their anniversary. The final straw for the woman came when her mother in law introduced her as her black daughter in law to her friends. After the woman pulled Lisa to the side and told her to stop, the mother in law snapped back and said, "You're my daughter in law and you're black. You people are so sensitive." In a moment of anger, the woman called Lisa a racist bitch. The woman claimed that after she made the comment, everybody at the party turned against her, and that she and her husband later argued about the point she made. Following the argument, the woman said her husband later went to stay at his mother's house. So, yeah, be careful what family you marry into.
Into. I want to say she's not the asshole, but you walked into that.
Oh, okay. All righty. Go ahead, brother.
You see what I'm saying? You come on now. If she's this blatant, this wasn't a one time event.
No,
She's been like this out the gate. I'm sure she said some slick shit when he brought
Absolutely.
your ass home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna kind of say I'm gonna flip the script on this one, and say that she is the asshole because she married into it.
yeah,
I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this. Bust it. Uh yeah, you right.
You set that up so mean. He was like, "Yeah, so bust it." You right.
Your
And
mammy-in-law is racist.
yeah,
But like my esteemed colleague, big brother, cousin Eddie said, bitch, you knew what time it was, and you ain't give a fuck about no niggas. You ain't
facts,
care nothing about what she
facts,
said about other black people. You was
facts.
mad because it was like, okay, you can say what you want about me, but damn, you ain't accepting my kids. It's a
Yeah,
problem with this shit.
yeah.
Far too often. See, you got these, they call them the manosphere. We not part of that. We not part of the manosphere, but they call them divestors. Group of women that like, oh, I'm not dating black men anymore. That type of shit. And it's like, oh, we just gonna deal with the white guys and everybody else who'll accept us. Far too often, these women forget they separate black men and black women, not understanding that black is black,
Facts,
motherfucker. Black is
facts.
black. They don't care if you got a dick or a cooch. You black, and these motherfuckers feel the same way equally. All right. There might be subtle differences in who's disliked and why, but we black, we get discriminated against. All right. We got a special type of discrimination that comes our way. Just because you marry a motherfucking white person or somebody other than is not going to change your circumstances and who you are. You knew what it was when you was walking into it. You mean to tell me that woman waited till you said I do to show her true colors?
Facts.
You knew what it was.
She
And
kept
you
her foot on her neck from the gate. So
right.
stop it. Yeah.
But you were so happy to be laying up with Scott. You know what I mean? and look, it ain't nothing wrong with that. It ain't if that's
Facts.
what you choose, if that's your twist, you do that. But you need to vet a motherfucker and quit being happy you laying up in the bed with somebody of a different race. Men do it too, but we talking about this bitch. Because people don't see motherfuckers don't want to talk about the women when they do this. They call brothers sellouts all fucking day. That brother's a sellout. Clarence Thomas is sellout because he didn't. But ain't nobody talking about it. Just like this chick Ketanji, the Supreme Court justice that's up right now going through her confirmation. There was some racist shit going on over at what is it? It's either Boeing or Lockheed Martin. There was some shit going on in Mississippi, of course, and this dude ended up coming and he started shooting some of the black workers, but he had been saying shit for the longest, making idle threats, saying old school racist shit, Mississippi burning racist shit.
Gotcha.
Turned out they did an investigation, found out it was the culture after he killed his people. Well, the case, she presided over the case. I think it was $19 or so million or something like that was going to end up going to those employees. Just needed her signature. And she fucked that shit off. Okay? You see a lot of goofy shit coming from these people that got spouses that are other. Don't nobody want to point it the fuck out, but you see it. You know, and you're not going to tell me that you thought, because women got this thing. This is women in general, no matter what man they're dealing with. They got this thing where they think they're going to change a man. Now, even if you did change this guy, you weren't going to change his family.
Because you married the family.
You married the family. I didn't just marry my woman. I married this entire group of people.
Right. And you vetted everybody.
Right. I vetted everybody.
Vets,
and please believe now, I got everybody's approval. But you a crazy motherfucker if you think that when you walk into a relationship, you gotta be fucking nuts if you think that everybody ain't vetting your ass. You gotta be crazy if you think you don't have to get a certain amount of approvals before that shit goes any further. Because a person's family will make it fucking hell for you. It just happens to be in this case that the person that's making your life a living hell is your mammy-in-law, and your husband is going with it.
Did we not do an episode on red flags?
Come on.
You know what I mean? This is a certified red flag, man.
Yes.
The mom was just, like you said, this what the husband says, she's from a different era. Yeah, then you leave him and her in that damn era. You know what I mean? And you move on. You know what I mean? There's nobody gonna introduce you as my black. I have a name.
Right. What era is he referring to? The fucking 80s? You know what I mean?
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because
what fucking era? Like,
yeah,
shit wasn't excusable in the 80s.
Hey, and let's call it what it is. This shit ain't never been excusable. It ain't never been excusable.
Right.
It was just a time our people felt like they had. And look, man, I was kind of harsh, but a lot of our people felt like they was kind of fucking. But hey, man, we behind enemy lines. I don't know what the fuck to do with it. We ain't gonna excuse it, motherfucker. But we just gonna have to take this one on the cheek, because it can end up with somebody coming to our house at night, or one of our kids getting hurt. It was a point in time where it was like that. But like you said, 80s. This nigga only 34 years old.
Yeah.
Right. She come from a different time. Like, don't say time. Just say a different sector of America.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? She's from, I don't know, Appalachia. Something like that where, there isn't a lot of melanin,
Fellas, we all from Appalachia. We from Youngstown. 36 counties are part of the Appalachian Mountains. Trumbull, Mahoning County are part of it.
Oh,
But that's
Jesus.
Appalachia, Ohio, baby. It's the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. I did some research on that shit.
You get my point.
I
But
got you.
it's just one of those things where you had baby number one and she was talking shit. What do you think she's gonna say about baby number two?
Okay, thank you, bro. I'm glad you did that. You thought it was gonna get better with baby number two? You thought the other one was just gonna automatically come out light?
Right, with blue eyes. You know what I mean? Come on now.
What if that motherfucker come out looking like Ed with a beard? What would she have said then?
Lord, she cheated on my son.
Yeah.
She cheated on my son.
No, hell no. Because true story, that's what happened with my grandmother. My grandmother, I got a picture of the man. He was German and Native American. He's fucking hated my grandmother because she came out dark. He put her out the house as a little girl.
Yeah.
Sad story. And my grandmother was a sweetheart, man.
Yeah, like I said, man, folks get on that colorism, you know what I mean? Real tough. Thinking that the bloodline has to stay, pure.
Right.
In their mind or whatever. I mean, that's when, we go back to, the 1800s when they were actually inbreeding. That's when you start seeing the pictures, you start seeing the timeline, and cousin Steve wasn't looking too right.
No,
you know what I mean. And then they realized we can't just keep trying to keep our blood pure by inbreeding. You know what I mean. So we're gonna have to venture out.
Right.
You know what I mean. And some of the most beautiful people in the world are biracial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. And for the masses, they just don't get that. Like in the world of science, man, there is no color. A white person and another white person can have a dark-skinned kid because of DNA. There's this thing called DNA. It's mixed with everything.
It's science.
Thank you. It's anything could happen. Anything could happen.
You might have an ancestor from 1800 show up in your kid.
Thank you.
In this day and age. What's up? Resurrection, baby. Look at this hair.
A kid, you know what I'm saying? Fuck around and have a kid with silver eyes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, where did that come from? Fucking
look.
Panama. I don't know. Shit,
Look at Ronda Rousey. Her mom busted her out. Yeah. Her granddaddy was half black. Why'd you tell?
I could tell.
Joe Rogan's talking about me.
Coming out, with so-called black features. These girls that are born with naturally full lips.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Natural.
Yep.
It's crazy. That's why it kills me. Like, oh my God, I hope the kid come out with, this, that, and the third. It was like, you get what you get.
Right.
It's a genetic lottery. You get
what the fuck do it matter?
Just make sure the baby's healthy.
Right.
If you worried about the aesthetics.
That's what I'm saying. You better motherfuckers would be happy with a beautiful Rain Man.
You know what's crazy is I worked with a woman who white people and Italians, they like white people know who's white. And she had a baby with an Italian dude. And all her fucking parents could talk about was like, oh, you can't wash that dark off.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, you're talking about how greasy her babies were and all kinds of shit. Like, motherfuckers, man.
Let me tell you,
want them pure bloodlines.
Yeah, and there's no such thing. That's what I don't understand. Pick up a fucking book. There's no such thing as pure bloodline.
Let me tell you something. There was this when I was doing cable, there was this one client. She had her last name, I never forgot it. She was Greek. Her last name was Papadopoulos. And I had to ask her, like, how do you pronounce that? She said, you got it right. Motherfucker had that olive colored complexion skin.
Yeah.
She had a picture of her with all her friends. And she looked like DJ LOH. She was the darkest one in there compared to him. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that, but we talking about genetics.
That's
it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot too hung up on that shit, man. Too hung up on that shit
for all the wrong. Because what was that? Tank, your Rock's daughter. What color's her eyes?
Blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on, man. I mean, it's a genetic lottery.
Yeah.
My
You
My
know,
dad's
sister's
eyes
eyes
are
are blue.
blue.
just like his sister's eyes. You
Yeah.
know, the
My
same
grandfather's
deal.
eye was blue.
See,
Mhm.
Yeah.
genetic lottery. You
Right.
don't know how when that's going to kick in.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't know, man. People put too much stock in that shit. Motherfucking beautiful person could be the most awful fucking person in the world.
Definitely.
But you gotta understand, man. It wasn't none of this shit they
What? You said what?
that time where his mother's from. Yeah,
Right.
none of this shit
Yo.
in the 80s.
And for him to fall back on that, and for her and her instinct not to kick in and be like, your mama was
Motherfucker.
born in the
The
80s.
fuck did you say? Right.
Right. You know what I mean? So again, my initial assessment, she's the asshole.
Yeah, she is the asshole.
She's
Yep.
the asshole in this one.
Mm.
This is
She's
all
an
this is.
asshole and she's a fucking fool. Like you said, you got what you paid for.
Facts.
You got what the fuck you paid for. You look, man. It's just certain shit you can hear in the conversation right away to let you know about a person. She knew what was up.
Yeah.
She knew what was up, but I think it was just again, she was happy to have one of these dudes. And you seeing this shit is backfiring. Like that motherfucker down in Florida, what was his name? DJ Kid was down there. They said he gave like 600 black women HIV.
Yeah.
White dude, because they was
yeah.
yeah. You just saw these beautiful. It was like two beautiful black girls. One was beautiful, one was hood beautiful, but they ended up dying. And what's happening? Police don't want to press charges against the dudes because we don't know what happened. Well, that's who the fuck they was with.
Yeah.
And one girl was bleeding from every fucking orifice of her body.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, man.
Buyer's remorse. That's all.
Yep.
It's buyer's remorse right now. And
Yep.
you got to deal with that because that is your mother-in-law.
Absolutely.
Hopefully these kids don't get babysat by grandma. Jesus
You know-
Christ. You imagine the shit that woman would put in those kids' head?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All day. And when you got a father who's just passive, well, like you do know your grandmother was raised on MTV.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you know how that go.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking crazy. Good point, Tank. Good point.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking 80s. It's
Right.
like we love the fucking 80s.
Right. That bullshit the fuck out of here, man. Yeah, you was a dickhead.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it. We finally got one where the person asked the question and they got
Yeah.
answered. Yeah,
This is what
you are the asshole.
What are we now? What? 2-1?
Yeah. Two
Yeah.
and
Pretty
one.
much.
2-1. I like this segment. Yeah, we got to keep this shit.
I got another one. I got another one for you.
Okay.
I got another one. Try
Let's
to keep it going.
let's get it. All right. What we got in there?
That's it.
Shit.
Our boy, man, taking advantage of